Come by the hills to the land where fancy is free, and stand where the peaks meet the sky and the lochs meet the sea, where the rivers run clear and the bracken is warmed in the sun, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done, till this day is done. Come by the hills to the land where life is a song, and sing while the birds fill the air with their joy all day long, where the trees sway in time and even the wind seems in tune, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done, till this day is done. Come by the hills to the land where legend remains, where stories of old fill the heart and may yet come again, where the past has been lost and the future has still to be won, and the cares of tomorrow must wait till this day is done, till this day is done.
At the beginning of the 5th century AD, the son of a minor Roman official in Britain was captured by Irish marauders and carried off to their pagan island. He spent 6 years as a slave, tending flocks of sheep, and in his own words, in the woods and on the mountain, in snow, frost and rain. It must have been a bleak time for this sensitive 16-year-old, but somehow he managed to survive and ultimately to escape. During the period of his captivity, religion, which up until then had meant little to him, became the center of his life. He was not, after his rescue, to return to Ireland for a quarter of a century. But when he did, he came back a priest, indeed a bishop, to preach the gospel, Christianize the pagans, and become one of the most successful missionaries in history. His name was Patrick, and besides becoming the patron saint of Ireland, he became and remained a genuine folk hero to its people, who, in addition to converting to Christianity, were civilized by this remarkable man to such an extent that their heritage was in turn to go out to much of Europe and carry on his missionary spirit, bringing Christianity and enlightenment, a spirit that has endured to this day.
There's a dear little plant that grows in our isle. 'Twas St. Patrick himself, sure that said it. And the sun on his labor with pleasure did smile, and with dew from his eye often wet it. It shines through the bog, through the brake, through the mireland, and they call it the dear little Shamrock of Ireland. The dear little Shamrock, the sweet little Shamrock, the dear little sweet little Shamrock of Ireland. The dear little plant still grows in...
There is a scarcity of factual material about St. Patrick. We know from the little he wrote that he was a man of great humility and great perseverance, that he understood the social structure of Ireland, that he wisely tried to harmonize the laws and traditions of that country with the precepts of Christianity. He must have been a fine preacher, not only because of his success with conversions, but because the Irish have always respected good speakers. The poet Phyllis McGinley in Patrick the Missioner wrote, "Let Patrick meet a pagan in Antrim or Wicklow, he talked to him so reachingly, so vehement would pray, that Cool or Niall or Reagan would fling aside his bow and beg the saint beseechingly to christen him that day." It's only a guess, but certainly not hard to imagine that Patrick, with his sense of harmony and ability with words, must have encouraged the Irish in their love of the most civilizing of all the arts, song.
The dear little plant that springs from our soil, when its three little leaves are extended, denotes from its stalk we together should toil, and ourselves by ourselves be befriended. And still through the bog, through the brake and the mireland, from one root should branch, like the shamrock of Ireland, the dear little shamrock, the sweet little shamrock, the dear little sweet little shamrock of Ireland.
As the song says, the shamrock is a plant with 3 leaflets, which legend has it Patrick used to explain the doctrine of the Trinity to the wild Gaels whom he converted tribe by tribe. The story, like that of driving the snakes from Ireland, may be apocryphal, but suffice it to say, there are no snakes in Ireland, and the shamrock has become the Emerald Isle's emblem, worn each St. Patrick's Day.
I'd close my eyes and picture the emerald of the sea, from the fishing boats at Dingle to the shores of Donaghadee. I miss the River Shannon and the folks at Skibbereen, the moorlands and the meadows with their 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. And most of all, I miss her lips as soft as eider down. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, with a breeze as sweet as Shalimar, and there's 40 shades of green. I wish that I could spend an hour at Dublin's churning surf. I'd love to watch the farmers drain the bogs and spade the turf, to see again the thatching of the straw the women glean. I'd walk from Cork to learn to see the 40 shades of green. But most of all, I miss a girl in Tipperary town. And most of all, I miss her lips as soft as eider down. Again, I want to see and do the things we've done and seen, with a breeze as sweet as Shalimar, and there's 40 shades of green. violets were scenting the woods, Nora displaying their charm to the bee. When I first said I loved only you, Nora, and you said you loved only me. The chestnut blooms gleamed through the glade, Nora, a robin sang loud from a tree. When I first said I loved only you, Nora, and you said you loved only me. The golden-robed daffodil shone, Nora, and danced in the breeze on the lea. When I first said I loved only you, Nora, and you said you loved only me. The trees, birds, and bees sang a song, Nora, of happier transports to be. When I first said I loved only you, Nora, and you said you loved only me. Our hopes, they have never come true, Nora, our dreams were never to be. Since I first said I loved only you, Nora, and you said you loved only me. Are in my mind, and my soul soars enchanted as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. For a tender beaming smile to my hope has been granted, and tomorrow God shall hear all my fond heart would say.
Although there were many hardships and much travail, Patrick's faith and work was richly rewarded. Again, Phyllis McGinley. He won the necromancers, the bards, the country herds. Chief Angus rose and went with him to bear his staff and ball. For such were all his answers to disputatious words. Who'd parry argument with him would end a shriven soul.
I shall tell him all my love, all my soul's adoration, and I think he will hear me, and will not say me nay. It is this that fills my soul with its joyous elation, as I hear the sweet lark sing in the clear air of the day. In a town by the sea, near the castle Dunedin, lived the fairest of all, the maiden Eileen. The smile on her cheek was as fresh as the dew, and her heart to a young fisher laddie was true. At morn he would sail with the sun and the tide, that he would return to his promised young bride. And down by the shore, she could hear it so plain, his voice in the wind, singing soft this refrain. Eileen, my Eileen, oh wait for me, wait, Eileen. They were to be wed on a Sunday in May. As sure fate, 'twas a joy to see Eileen so gay. The morning before, he set sail with the tide, but he never returned to his promised young bride. No more, never more, was her heart young and warm. Her lover, he died, yes, he died in a storm. And down by the shore, she could hear it so plain, his voice in the wind, singing soft this refrain. Eileen, my Eileen, oh wait for me, wait, Eileen.
For the great gales of Ireland are the men that God made mad. For all their wars are merry, and all their songs are sad. But then Chesterton was English, and he could not have been expected to know. The fate of Eileen and many others may have been sad. But not all Irish lasses would make you weep. Some might even bring a smile to your heart.
Take all the girls in Ireland and put them all together. The girl I love would beat them all in any kind of weather. She doesn't wash the powder off because she doesn't wear it. Her face and figure are all her own, it's true, for I declare it. She's a fine, big, strong lump of an agricultural Irish girl. She doesn't paint nor powder and her figure is all her own. But she can hit that hard, who you think was a kick of a mule you'd got. The full of your arms of Irish love was Mary Ann Malone. She has no education, for she's only passed her letters, but for all befits a lady now, you'd never find her betters. She doesn't speak Italian, nor read the fashion papers, but whenever there's a row afoot, she's riding there be chafers, for she's a fine, big, strong lump of an agricultural Irish girl. Doesn't paint nor powder and her figure is all her own, but she can hit that hard, who you think was a kick of a mule you'd got. The full of your arms of Irish love was Mary Ann Malone. She's only 17 last grass, but still improving greatly. I wonder what she will be like when her bones are set completely. You'd think your hand was in a vice the moment that she shakes it. And if there's any cake around, it's Mary Ann that takes it. For she's a fine, big, strong lump of an agricultural Irish girl. Doesn't paint nor powder, and her figure is all her own. But you can hit that hard, who you think was a kick of a mule you'd got. The full of your arms of Irish love was Mary Ann Malone. You may travel far, far from your own native home, far away o'er the mountain, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever been, there's none would compare with the cliffs of Dunedin. Take a view o'er the mountains, fine sights you'll see there. You'll see the high Rocky Mountains on the west coast of Clare. Oh, the towns of Kilrush and Kilkee can be seen, and the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooneen.
There had been attempts to Christianize Ireland before Patrick. There were some few Christians there when he arrived, but on the whole the country had remained pagan. Why then was Patrick able to succeed where others had failed? His sense of mission, surely, his devotion, his humility, his fervor with a healthy leavening of common sense. He had lived among them as a slave. He knew and understood them. He became their patron saint. He truly loved the Irish people and the land of Eire.
Fare thee well to the Neen, fare thee well for a while, and to all the fine places that I leave behind, to the streams and the meadows where late I have been, and the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooneen. I see his blood upon the rose, and in the stars the glory of his eyes. His body gleams amid eternal snows. His tears fall from the skies. I see his face in every flower. The thunder and the singing of the birds are but his voice, and carven by his power, rocks are his written words. All pathways by his feet are worn. His strong heart stirs the ever-beating sea. His crown of thorns is twined with every thorn. His cross is every tree. Early in the morning, hear the rays roar, the silver's in the stubble, and it wasn't there before, for the leaves are getting greener, and spring is on the way, and girls are getting prettier and younger every day. If any girl will have me, she'll only have to say, I'll hang my halo on the hook until another day. For the leaves are getting greener, and spring is on the way, and girls are getting prettier and younger every day. For the leaves are getting greener, and spring is on the way, and girls are getting prettier and younger every day. It's time to think of heaven. It's time to think of hell. It's time to go to church on Sundays. Hark, I hear the bell. Well, the leaves are getting greener, and spring is on the way, and girls are getting prettier and younger every day, and younger every day.
I, Patrick, a sinner, am the most ignorant and of least account among the faithful, despised by many. I owe it to God's grace that so many people should, through me, be born again to him. Conscious of his own failings, charitable, humble, when an old man, Patrick wrote those words in his Confessions, one of the few records we have of him. He felt he had been sent on a mission, and although he did not say so, he fulfilled it. He left a strong heritage in Ireland, where missionaries have for 1,000 years gone out into the world with his message of love and redemption, the song of the heart. From Patrick's time until now, this has been Ireland's only empire.
I walked the hills when rain was falling, rested by a wide oak tree, heard a lark sing high at evening, caught a moonbeam on the sea. Softly blow, ye winds of morning, sing ye winds your mournful sound, blow ye from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound. By foreign shores my feet have wandered, ere the stranger called me friend. Every time my mind was troubled, found a smile around the bend. Softly blow, ye winds of morning, sing ye winds your mournful sound, blow ye from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound. There's a ship stands in the harbor, all prepared to cross the foam. Far off hills where fair and friendly, still there's fairer hills at home. Softly blow, ye winds of morning, sing ye winds your mournful sound, blow ye from the earth's four corners, guide this traveler where he's bound, guide this traveler where he's bound.